Good morning. Today is the 8th of August, and I'm going to go through my watch list for today. Before we start, just see what could move the market in the news today. And we had some jobless claims in at 8:30 and we saw a big reaction to that. It looks like a positive reaction. And then further today we've got the 30-year bond at 1 o'clock and Fed speaking at 3 o'clock. I think they're the main things to keep an eye on today. So 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So if you're in a trade, probably wise to just keep an eye on. So on my screen, we're looking at the S&P E-mini futures. This is the 1 hour time frame. And you can see there's big reaction. Originally, today I was watching for a long over the yesterday's low, this area here where we were consolidating in the pre-market, and then we blasted through that area in the pre-market. I'm quite sure why my pen's not working. Let's just close that. So we come up to another area of resistance right now. You can see we came into that area, and just close my pen. Where's it? Epic pen. And reopen it again. Right, it's easy to get the pen so I can draw while I'm watching. So basically I'm looking for a retest of this region again, 52.35 for a bounce, and I'm also watching the pre-market high for potentially a rejection, which I can show you why. You can see here we had a big area of support. Made it a bit bigger. We had this big area of support, and then it became demand, broke up, pulled back up, retested that area yesterday, and we're back into that region now as well. So I do quite like this area for rejection. So it's putting in a couple of topping tails on the 15-minute. So potentially it's setting a bit of a flag pattern for the breakout as well on the 15-minute. So just want to keep an eye on that. I've got to wait for it to change trend. So it's difficult at the moment because we're in a downtrend. Let's just go to the daily. It's not a very good daily as well. So we're in this downtrend. You can see we've been putting in lower lows, lower highs, another lower low, potentially a lower high there. We talked about a potential flag pattern on the hourly, which I'll show in a second. Setting up yesterday, it broke down through that, and it's kind of back into our point of control area. And this is a key area as well, big area of confluence there, tops of candles, bottoms of candles there as well, and pivots. And right now, let's just clear this area, and right now we're coming right into that same area, but we are looking bearish because we've got these topping tail candles on reduced volume pullback as well. You can see big volume coming in on the sell-off, and then it's reduced volume last couple of days. So potentially looking for a rejection around this region, and then looking for a break and retest of this area. Although we are coming into the 200 moving average, which is that purple line, and we've got this area here, which is an area of demand. So let's go back to the hourly. If we do lose this pre-market low, there's a big volume void below. See the lack of volume over previous days, and so if we lose that area, I'm watching 5200 for a break and retest short as well today. So basically I'm just going to watch these levels, see what plays out, and go with what's the best. Go with where the volume is basically. We can watch yesterday's high as well as another rejection area. There's an area of confluence as well, and you can see there's a volume shelf just on the left there as well. So 53.40 for the rejection. I've got a level here at 5300, psychological number for the rejection as well. Oh, I hit the highlighter by mistake. So 5300. We've got 5200. This is going to be two plays, either break and retest short to continue this downtrend. You notice this lovely break of the flag. Let's just clear that. So we had this pullback in the last few days, and we broke down, and we're coming back up to retest that area now, hence why I like the short up there as well. So 5300 for the short on this trend line. If we break down into this region, I'm watching two plays, either a higher risk bounce because it's against the trend, or a break and retest of the pre-market low, which is with the higher time frames trend. And that's it. So I'm just going to quickly recap. We got 5200 break and retest short. We're watching for a bounce back down in this region, and that's at 52.35, 52.40. And then I'm looking for a rejection, high risk, because it's exactly where we are now at the pre-market high, or a break and retest long. And we can watch this level as well, which is 5300, and that's a rejection area, and it's off of this. It'll be a break and retest of this trend line as well if we get up there. And that's it. Again, we've got this zone up here at 53.40 for rejection. And that's it really. SPY. We'll look at order flow once I've finished going through the list. SPY is the same, even though this is a much nicer area here. You can just clearly see where we held the support, broke through, retested it, broke through again, bounced, gapped up to that same area, come back down. We haven't retested it properly yet, and we're coming into that area. So 524 is two things to watch, either for the rejection or for the break and retest long into that trend line. 529, 530 is a big rejection area we can watch for, and then if we lose the pre-market low, I quite like the break and retest short. And again, lack of volume to the left here. If we can get below that pivot, then we may see a big move down. SPX, key areas of 5200, where we got to yesterday. We closed in that area, but we're going to be opening slightly higher. So if we get down to that area, it's going to be hard to go short doing a break and retest of ES if we're above 5200. So we really want to be below 5200 for the break and retest. So I'll watch that. And 5300 is another key area as well, which we held it there, gapped down, we came back up and retested it yesterday. So 5300 and 5200 are the two key areas I'm watching. Let's just add another layer level. This area here, which is the highlighted area as well, 52.46, 52.50, that area, you can see it's an area of confluence, tops of candles, bottoms of candles, bottoms, and then it's kind of breakthrough retest area. And we can watch 52.46 for the rejection as well. NQ, not quite as good as SPY, and a bit better than ES. So the only area I'm watching for the rejection is 18,500. Psychological number as well. We could watch this potentially 18,252 for a break or retest long, or the rejection. I'm not sure about the pre-market high, only because of that resistance above. We've got a volume shelf as well. We're way away from the point of control. If we lose pre-market low, then I quite like this area for the break and retest short as well, and that's 17,800 to 18,000. This area here is a big zone. Next up is QQQ. Exactly the same. Watching this for the rejection, 447.24. We've got this key area here before we broke down as a gap. We filled the gap yesterday, come back up. I'm looking for a double top to reject down. Again, if we show strength, we can watch for the break and retest into this moving average. That's a 200. If we lose yesterday's low, I don't want to go low yet until we break through below. We need to see a break and retest of pre-market low short with a target of 419.99, and that's our bounce area, 419 to 424. Gold, oil, I meant crude oil, looking a bit more bullish than everything else. I like this pattern here. Inverse head and shoulders pattern into an hourly level, into a trend line as well. And that's the right shoulder there, or you could say all of that is the right shoulder. We had a retest yesterday. We broke out, came back and retested, which is yesterday's low. So hopefully somebody caught that retest. And then we kind of just put in a sideways. So I quite like the break and retest over pre-market high. So I'm going to put my alert in there. Oh. So my alert's at 75.81. Look for a break and retest. That's yesterday's high as well. And then 76.50 is an area we can watch for target. But volume doesn't start coming in until we get to this next 76.46. So that could be our next target area here. So let's just readjust that one. And that's exactly on that volume shelf. And that's it really. If we push down, then I quite like the bounce back on this trend line. Maybe yesterday's low for the bounce as well. Okay, next up is, but I do like the break and retest. That's above all the averages and it's against the current trend as well. So it looks showing a bit of strength. This is gold. And look at that, we're holding this trend line at the bottom. Again, I like the break and retest of pre-market high on gold. And there's decline in volume. So you can see the volume is declining. If we break over, there's less and less volume. We've got a few key areas. 24.75 potentially is a rejection area, or it could be a target if we're long. We're above the 50, and if we close, break and retest above the 200 moving average, then I like it for a long. We have got decline in volume though over the last few days on this pullback, which is a good sign for a long. So I quite like that. And where are we now? We're kind of right at the retest area. This is an inverse, you could say an inverse head and shoulders, depends where you look at it. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, or it's a double left shoulder, two heads, right shoulder. You can see the neckline, and potentially we're breaking and retesting it. So I do quite like this as a high risk bounce right now. So keep an eye on that. RTY, which is the Russell 2000. One sec. Russell 2000. No, I'm not a big fan of this chart. We've got to get over yesterday's high. For the long, there's a lot of volume to the left as well. There's no real clear levels. It's a bit messy around there. Probably going to avoid this one today. Maybe a break and retest a pre-market high with yesterday's high as a target, and then we've got a daily level at 21.40. Not a big fan, but you can see yeah, we can watch for the bounce back down here again at 20.38, and then obviously watch 2000 as well, psychological, but not one I'll be watching today to trade. YM, exactly the same. Broke down, put in a bear flag, and potentially come back to retest this area. Let's go back to RTY and let me look at the bigger picture. Again, that broke down, putting this bear flag, and we're retesting. I only, because it may not, if it's, we could be putting in, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. It's a bit like the Nasdaq. It reminds me of Nasdaq a bit. So we've broken down. If we can come back up and retest that area, 39.400. Watch out for the rejection, or we can watch the bounce down here at 38.700. And I think that's it really for the futures. Look at Bitcoin. It's putting in a bullish couple of days. You know, it's in a big downtrend as well, but it's not in a big downtrend also on the grand scheme of things. Let's look at the daily, because I've got the daily on Bitcoin. If you look on the grand scheme, we've got this cup and handle pattern, which we've been talking about every day. Kind of bounce. Oh, I added down here at 50,000 yesterday, day before yesterday. We're kind of in this rejection area now. If we break over 60,000, we could see another push up to the top. We've got 58,900 to 60,000. That's a key area there, which we're coming into. Otherwise, we can see it bounce, put in a new low. And if we get down to 40,000, I'll be looking to add again. Again, we've got to get out of the zone. You can play the range. So find the long to pull it up to this one, find the short to bring it back down. But we are honouring this range at the moment pretty decently. I can see the volumes coming, potential ending volume as well, and we're breaking over that candle. So we could watch for a break and retest of today's high over 58,900. We're a little bit below that at the moment. And I think that's it. There's no real play really. Let's have a quick look at order flow. So remember, let's go back to our hourly level. So we're watching for a break and retest over this level here. We put in, we've just broken out again. Yeah, so I'll just look at the order flow anyway. I can't really see anything decent right now. Order flow and price doing exactly the same. You can see it's in an uptrend. There's no divergence. In an uptrend. There's no volume down here. We've got a few big orders sitting down at 52, 50, 52, 25, 15 and 5200. So these are potential bounce areas we talked about. And that's it really. If we're looking to go long, you've got a concentration of high volume areas here. So you get 52.70 can act as your stop loss. 52.70. Which happens to be a level we were watching as well, the area of confluence. I flick back to the main screen, this level here. So we can look for a break and retest of this area maybe. It's hard to go long when we're in this downtrend. Hard to go short as well when we're putting in a bit of a strong move at the moment. And we're coming into that retest area. So I'm going to stick with my plan. 5300 rejection, 5200 bounce, and then potentially watch for a bounce if we come back down into this region to watch it for the bounce, because we may be just looking at a bit of a change of trend, putting in a low, then a lower high, and so forth. Okay, so that's it really. 10 minutes before the market opens. Trade safe, smartly, and I'll be back tomorrow at 9 AM Eastern time. On my other stream is the live order flow right now, and that'll be active all day. Okay, thank you for watching.